On the edge of a small village, nestled between rolling green hills and a quiet, ancient forest, lived a young boy named Aarav. Every single evening, without fail, he would light a small, simple lantern and place it just outside his humble home. His neighbors often whispered among themselves, wondering why he did it. The nights were clear, the moon was bright, and his little light seemed so unnecessary. But Aarav held a quiet, steadfast belief in his heart. He believed that his light wasn't just for him. It was meant for someone special, someone lost in the vastness of the night, someone who desperately needed a guiding hand to find their way home. One cold winter evening, the air grew still and the world seemed to hold its breath. Soft, silent snowflakes began to drift down from the darkening sky, blanketing the village in a pristine layer of white. As Aarav lit his lantern, its warm glow dancing against the falling snow, he noticed something unusual. A dark, fleeting shadow was moving along the edge of the forest path. It was small and quick, almost like a whisper in the twilight. Curiosity tugged at him, stronger than the chill in the air. Grabbing his lantern, its light cutting a brave path through the gloom, he decided to follow. The shadow led him deeper along the winding path, past snow-laden trees that stood like silent sentinels. As he drew closer, he heard a faint, whimpering sound. The shadow had stopped near a thick, thorny bush. Aarav held his lantern higher, and its light revealed the source of the sound. There, tangled and trapped in the prickly branches, was a small, shivering puppy. Its fur was matted with snow, and its wide, dark eyes were filled with a profound fear. It was completely alone. As Aarav approached, he moved slowly, deliberately, not wanting to frighten the poor creature any more than it already was. The puppy watched his every move, but it didn't try to run or hide. It was as if it understood, on some instinctual level, that this boy and his warm light meant no harm. "It's okay," Aarav whispered, his voice a soft cloud in the cold air. "I'm here to help." Gently, carefully, Aarav began to work the puppy free from the thorny grasp of the bush. His fingers got pricked, but he didn't mind. Finally, the puppy was entangled. It was trembling uncontrollably, partly from the cold and partly from fear. Without a second thought, Aarav unwrapped his own warm coat and bundled the tiny creature inside. "Don't worry, little one," he whispered, holding the puppy close to his chest. "You're safe now. I've got you." He carried the trembling bundle back to his small, cozy home. The familiar warmth of the hearth greeted them as they stepped inside. Aarav set the puppy down on a soft rug and hurried to prepare a small bowl of warm milk. The puppy, still a bit hesitant, lapped it up gratefully. That night, as Aarav sat by the fire, the little creature curled up asleep in his lap. A new kind of warmth spread through his heart, a warmth that had nothing to do with the fire. Outside, his lantern flickered softly, its light seeming to dance with a newfound joy, casting long, peaceful shadows across the walls of his home. Days turned into weeks, and Aarav named the little puppy Chotu, which means small one. The two of them became absolutely inseparable. They were a familiar and welcome sight throughout the village. They explored every nook and cranny of the forest together, Chotu's playful barks echoing through the trees. They brought smiles to the faces of everyone they met, their shared joy being incredibly contagious. They even started helping the village elders, carrying small baskets of vegetables or fetching items from the market. The villagers, who once thought Aarav's lantern was a strange habit, began to see things differently. They noticed something remarkable. Every evening, the light from Aarav's lantern seemed to shine brighter than before. It was as if it were alive, imbued with the kindness and companionship that now filled Aarav's life. Its glow seemed to reach out, a comforting beacon for anyone in the village who felt lost or lonely. Then came a night of great turmoil. A fierce storm, unlike any the villagers had seen before, descended upon them. The wind howled like a hungry wolf, and rain fell in relentless, driving sheets. The quiet river that flowed near the village, usually so peaceful, began to swell. It rose higher and higher, its churning, muddy waters creeping over its banks and threatening to flood their homes. Panic spread like wildfire. In the chaos and darkness, the villagers scrambled, not knowing where to go for safety. The familiar paths were gone, swallowed by the rising floodwaters. In that moment of terror, Aarav remembered his lantern. With Choda barking bravely by his side, he ran towards the raging river, holding the light high above his head. The lantern's glow, steady and strong against the storm, shone upon the turbulent water. A miracle happened. The light reflected on the surface, creating a shimmering, golden path through the flood, pointing the way to higher ground. One by one, Guided by this impossible beacon, the terrified villagers followed the light. They waded through the treacherous water, their eyes fixed on the small, unwavering flame. Aarav and Chodu led them all to the safety of the hills. The next morning, the storm had passed. The sun broke through the clouds, its rays illuminating a village that was waterlogged but safe. As the villagers looked down from their vantage point on the hill, they realized the truth. It was Aarav's simple lantern, his persistent act of kindness, that had saved them all. That small, strange light had become their symbol of hope, courage, and community. And from that day forward, the story of the boy and his lantern was told and retold. Whenever someone in the village felt lost, whether in a storm or in their own heart, they would remember Aarav, his faithful puppy Chotu, and the light that never gave up. Aarav had learned a profound lesson, one that he carried with him for the rest of his life. Even the smallest light has the power to shine in the darkest of times. And sometimes, all it takes is a little bit of courage and a whole lot of kindness to light the way for everyone. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of hope and inspiration. Until next time, keep your own light shining.